Underwood. Thin ice!
So I can't knock down a triple here. Woo, okay. Didn't even miss a shot this entire time, so take that. This better be good for the team.
Oh,
I thought for sure.
there it is. Boom! Yes!
All right. Illini Basketball Podcast, episode 262. March 30th, 2025. 1 hour before the final Elite Eight games begin, which Illinois not participating in. Last year, Illinois lost on Saturday night in the Elite Eight, but nothing can be done about that at this point. There's one Big Ten team left. I guess we'll talk about them later. But I think we were going to wait a little bit longer to do an episode, but I think with the things that have happened over the past few days, we have to do it.
Yeah.
And there's, it's almost hard to keep up with the stuff that's going on the social media with Illinois.
Yeah. I don't know what exactly is going on. Illinois has too many no-faced burners out there that they know stuff, they read stuff, they pay for stuff, and then they just completely melt down on Twitter.
There's an SEC element to this program.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's getting to the point where it's just annoying. It's ridiculous. We're going to talk about some other stuff. I don't want to get into it now. Let's recap the season, then we can get into the other stuff. So
22-13 was the final record. They went 12-8 in the Big Ten. Big Ten tournament, they lost in the quarterfinals by 23 to Maryland after beating Iowa in the first game. NCAA tournament, they beat Xavier by 13 in the first round, lost in the second round to Kentucky by 9. Finished the year with the 5th hardest strength of schedule on KenPom overall, which I know those numbers vary by who's doing the strength schedule because the metrics that they're looking at are different, but for KenPom, they're 5th. This team had a lot of ups, a lot of downs. I don't think there was any really high level of consistency outside of the end of December into January when they beat Missouri and then destroyed Oregon and destroyed Penn State. That was kind of their consistency. And then that loss to USC. After that loss, or going into that, they were 12-3. So they finished 10-10, right? 10-10 after that. So it was, I think obviously anytime you make the tournament, you win a game. I think it's a success. I think given the way the team played in January and February, I don't think anybody really thought that the expectation should be Sweet 16. However, you always want to get to a Sweet 16, but I think winning a game in the tournament and then losing to a better team is perfectly fine, I guess. Even though I guess Illinois was the favorite going into this.
Yeah, and I think that's what people are going to say is Illinois was the favorite in that game. It's still, I don't think they opened up as a favorite. I think it was a coin flip. And if the good Illinois shows up, they probably win that game. Kentucky was not very good in their next game. This team dealt with a lot of injury, a lot of sickness, a lot of inconsistency from almost everybody. And you kind of expect that. You got two guys that you brought from overseas. You got freshmen. You have Kylan Boswell and Trey White in a new system. And this is kind of what you get. And Brad discussed that he wants to get older. We'll see what happens. As you guys know, Trey White's entered the portal. I don't know if Morez Johnson you can talk about in that older situation. So I don't know if that is included in that. But I think this is everything I expected from this season, though. I don't think I didn't expect Brad to, could they have done something? Yeah, we heard about the ceiling, all season. But it's hard. And, it's a one and done tournament. I think you take 20 wins and a tournament win every year as an Illinois fan. And I don't know what this, Brad doesn't win in the tournament, whatever. Let's get rid of him. Insane talk. I like, do we want to go back to try to see if, one guy can come in and get a little bit farther in the tournament, or just implode the program and we're sitting there miserable like we were with John Gross? It doesn't make sense to me when Illinois fans start doing that.
I think getting a little bit further than Brad is getting to the Final Four, so it's not like he hasn't gotten anywhere yet. And there's also a scenario where this team goes 16-4 in the Big Ten, because Northwestern, they blew that game. USC, they're so much better than USC. The fact that they lost that game by 10, I know KJ was out, but my God, that was bad. Nebraska, they played horribly, shouldn't have even gotten to overtime, but if they win that game, because they're way better than Nebraska, and Rutgers, if they beat Rutgers, they made a run in that game, couldn't get it done. So if they win those 4 games against teams that they're significantly better than, they go 16-4 in the Big Ten. So I know that that's like a like a scenario that's impossible, but it's also real in the sense that they're better than those 4 teams. They had leads in all 4 of those games, with the exception, I guess, of USC. They might have had like a small lead, but I don't know. I don't think anybody can look at this season as a failure. I know some might, but like, how insane do we have to be upset with a 22-win season where they won a tournament game just because I guess they went to the Elite Eight last year? And I understand questioning some of the in-game coaching. I understand that. I understand the idea of, hey, there are coaches that are out there that are better X's and O's guys than Brad. Fine, whatever. But like, Brad has won a lot of games at Illinois. He won a lot of games at Stephen F. Austin, as we saw on the graphic last night in the Duke Alabama game. He made the tournament at Oklahoma State in 1 year. So like, he's done a lot of winning. I don't know what more people want. Like, unless Jay Wright is coming back to college basketball.
Yeah, and like I get that like fans want retention, but this is the way of college basketball right now. And people will say that it's, staff, it's how the usage of people. I don't know what else you do.
What pisses me off is Trey White is going to be with his 4th school in 4 years, and they're blaming
7 if you go back to high school. 7 and 7 years if you go back to high school.
And they're trying to blame Illinois on this one. That's so insane. It's so insane to blame the coaches for that one.
Yeah, and like Trey White, I think it's probably because he said on Sunday that he wants to run it back and whatever.
Go run it back at Louisville.
Yeah, maybe that's what he meant. It is in a sense, he talked about success and stuff like that. My thing is, like, there's going to be 100 Trey Whites out there in the portal. Like, I'm sorry if you guys love Trey White that much. He had good games. I won't deny that.
Nobody hated more on Trey White in the offseason than me.
Yeah.
And I thought his 1 year at Illinois was a success given my expectations for him. He had a couple weeks there where he was sick and wasn't really playing. Figured it out, shot really well from 3 in the last couple weeks of the season. Fine player, but I'm not going to lose sleep over losing him. And I don't think Illinois and their staff will be either. I mean, if he ends up in the Big East or the SEC, that'll be 4 conferences in 4 years because, Pac-12 with USC, ACC with Louisville, Big Ten with Illinois. If he goes to the SEC or the Big East or a different conference than the other 3, then that's another conference. So you can't blame Illinois for this one. The Morez thing we'll get to, I guess, but I'm not too concerned about losing Trey White. I think if Kylan Boswell entered the portal, it would be very problematic.
Yeah. It feels like the staff has said, we're gonna try to build this team around Visich and Boswell. And
Ivasic.
sorry,
Thank you.
I got 6 more years to mess up his name. So
and his brothers.
Tommy says rather have Trey White any day over Hummer. They're not the same players, guy. I don't get that. Like Hummer is gonna come in the same
I'd
role
rather have neither
that he did at the end of the year this year. I don't think we're looking at Hummer being in the starting role next year.
If you're Hummer, though, man, if you're Hummer and you get another year, just go back to mid-major. Be so much better for him.
That's fine. I mean, but I don't think he's going to.
But do you think that would be better for him?
I'm pretty sure that he wants to play D1 basketball at Illinois. So
he could go play D1 basketball at Evansville.
Would it be better for him? I don't know. I mean, should he go to Santa Clara and take the
that would be very smart
role? Yeah,
he's a little old for that.
I can see that, but I don't know. It's
a good season.
Good season, by the way.
I mean, I'm not gonna Brad Underwood since 2020. So 2020 they go 21-10, 13-7 in the Big Ten. Didn't make the tournament because there was no tournament, but projected 7th seed. 2021, I think we could label as a disappointment in the sense that they lost in the second round, but they were a 1 seed. They were a top 5 team in the country, 24-7, 16-4 in the Big Ten. They won the Big Ten that year if you don't count Michigan's scam with the Big Ten. 2022, 23-10, 15-5 in the conference, lost in the second round to Houston. 2023, even in a year where his team kind of sucked, they went 20-13, 11-9 in the Big Ten. They lost in the first round to a very talented Arkansas team. Last year, 29-9, 14-6 in the Big Ten. Elite 8 loss to the national champions UConn. 2025, this season, 22-13, 12-8 in the Big Ten, lost in the second round to Kentucky, who played a terrible basketball game against Tennessee in the next game. And I will say for Kentucky, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in one season, especially when Tennessee has been really good in the tournament. And that's why I wonder, we're either going to get all 4 1 seeds or we're going to get 2 1s and 2 2s or, 3 1s, 1 2, the whole thing there, I guess. But Houston could be in some trouble. I did bet on Houston today for the record, but they could be in some trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Houston, the only trouble they're going to have is when, the refs take care of their baby.
Well, let's not sit here and pretend like Purdue didn't get the greatest whistle of all time against High Point. Purdue fans, they got a bad whistle in a game against Indiana, I think, this year. But Purdue fans should be the last ones to be complaining about whistles.
I agree. I even had a Purdue fan come over last night, and
also a flop.
She thought that Purdue got the better half of the whistle, but
Braden Smith flop.
I don't think it was.
Gained some weight, little bitch. That's what I say to him.
Also, Heidi got fouled on the rebound, but
Houston physicality. Houston's got a reputation.
That's what I say. They're not going to. Do you think they're going to let him be that physical with Duke?
No, but they will with Tennessee probably.
Yeah, sure they will.
Also, Duke is Duke. I don't know who tweeted it yesterday. It might have been Sean Paul. Duke is UConn from last year. There's so many similarities there.
A lot of weapons.
They're huge in the front court. Yeah.
Length. Yeah. They can play good defense. Yeah, Duke's going to be a tough out.
Knipple is a younger version of Cam Spencer.
Hey, Knipple's been impressive this year. We'll just run over our predictions coming into this year. You had this team going 25-6 overall, 16-4 in the conference.
Could have been 16-4. We know that.
I know. Predicted them to be a 2 seed in the tournament.
Whoops.
Leading scorer was KJ with 15.4. He averaged 15, so you got that right.
Bang.
Rebounder, you had KJ at 6.1. Tommy led the rebounding with 7.7. Assists, you had KJ with 4.2. He had 4.7, leading the team. Steals, we both had DGL with about 1.3. DGL averaged 0.3 steals a game. Kylan Boswell with 1.1. Illinois was not a defensive team this year at all.
360th in turnover percentage on defense.
Yeah. I went KJ 14.2 points per game. I had Morez at 6.6 rebounds. He did have 6.7, but it wasn't more than Tommy. I don't know why we ignored Tommy, but we did. I had KJ at 3.6 assists and DGL with 1.2 steals. I did predict him to be a 5 seed, to go 21-10 overall and 13-7 in the conference. So,
well, the regular season they did go 20-11. You're one off there.
Yep.
Think if they, beat Northwestern or Nebraska or USC or Rutgers. Think about that.
Just think.
Or if they don't choke against Tennessee, that's another win.
Yeah. What could have been if you guys, whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
You're right. Breakout players, yeah.
Oh, breakout player. I had Tommy, so.
Shouldn't really count because he's never played college basketball before. That's right.
I mean, was there a breakout player on this team? I guess
DGL.
Morez.
DGL had a run.
DGL was not a breakout player.
I guess he wasn't a breakout player because he didn't get to play at the end, but he had a run. There was like a 2-month run for DGL.
And how long until DGL's in the portal?
Probably within 24
days.
hours. Within 24 hours of this.
Yeah.
I would say. I guess the breakout player would have been Jake Davis. They would have let him cook, but it's all right. I mean, Trey White kind of broke out in the sense that, he
I would say, yeah,
showed his ability to be effective on a team that doesn't suck. I mean, you think about his first 2 years in college basketball, Louisville 8-24. USC did make the tournament in that 1 year he was there, but or USC. Did I say Louisville? USC? Whatever. So yeah, he had 4 points in his one tournament game before this one, so he had 7 and 8 in these two. What can you do?
Can we ban Finkel?
We could.
This is the kind of Twitter fan I'm talking about.
You could block his number.
Jay says, I was not really surprised by White. Morez to me is big. What Illinois offense was this year? Morez really didn't fit what Illinois wanted to do this year. He's not playing more minutes over T. Tommy. Yeah. Like we've already mentioned, Trey White in the portal. Good luck, sir. We'll replace you with somebody better. That's my thoughts on it. This is what it sounds like to me. And this is all made up in my head.
Still out on dicks?
Excuse me?
What? He was in Champaign this weekend.
What happened to Dix? Yeah, no, I'm in on him. What do you mean?
You didn't think it was ever going to happen?
I didn't think it was going to happen. We'll see what happens. Do you think Dix is a better player than Trey White? Is that not a better replacement?
I mean, so much better. He had 21 against Illinois in that Big Ten tournament. He scores from inside the perimeter and shoots at 42% from three.
Yeah.
And he's played 3 years in the Big Ten. And, folks, he was on an Iowa team that did make the tournament. Now, he only played 2 minutes in that tournament game, but he was on the team.
Yeah.
There you go.
It seems like Trey White, I don't know if it was a money thing or whatever, but I think that, if you want money and Illinois doesn't think you're worth it, they're going to tell you to kick rocks and we'll find somebody to replace you. That's what I feel is happening with this staff. And everybody wants to say that's Tyler Underwood's fault, blah, blah, blah. I think that you have to look at this both ways and guys want paid and teams have the option to pay them or not, or tell them to kick rocks and have a good life. So
Josh Dix had 27 points against Purdue this season, by the way. Do you think Trey White would ever do that?
No.
Exactly. What was I saw another comment here. Hang on. Well, look, we should at least read this one from Finkel.
Yeah, Finkel says one quality NCAA tournament win for Brad is what's tough to defend, followed by a broken defensive scheme and an offense led by a metric merchant in Tyler Underwood. Tyler Underwood is receiving
an inordinate
amount of hate right now on Twitter. I assume on the message boards. I don't go on those. Finkel sends me them, so I don't have to. Thanks.
Do we really know exactly what's going on? And is everything out there supposed to be viewed as real information? Because I struggle to believe the fact that everyone's just ganging up on Tyler Underwood. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's weird. And I think this is maybe more of a Morez thing. I mean, so Morez apparently talked to Ked. I'm a graphic designer, Prince, or whatever.
Was it Morez or Morez's dad?
I think it was both of them.
Okay.
I think the top half of that conversation was Morez talking. I think the bottom was his son. If you want to pull it up, you can. Because I think Morez is the one that said, I don't want to end up like Kofi or Dane. I don't know how true this is. Ked put this out there, and then it got shared all over. You were supposed to pay for it. So sorry, Ked, for whoever decided to dox your interview. But he said that he didn't want to end up like Kofi or Dane Danger. He said that Illinois could have used a guy like Dane this year, which I think is a absolutely crazy thing to say, because Dane would have only taken Morez's minutes. He wouldn't have taken Tommy's minutes. So people took that as he doesn't want to be a two-time All-American and all this stuff. It sounds like Morez wants to show the NBA that he can make 15-footers. And if we know anything about Brad Underwood, is he does not like anybody, especially his big men, to take 15-footers. His dad made a comment that Morez took a 15-footer. He got benched for 9 minutes because of it. And he loves Brad Underwood, but he doesn't control the offense. And I think that's where everybody took it to Tyler Underwood and this 5-out offense. And that's what it is. I don't know what to tell you guys. If you don't like it, I understand, but that's what Brad wants to be. That's what he thinks wins championships. He's the coach. If you want him fired because of that, I guess I understand, but he's going to do what he thinks can win a national championship. And you know what he can't do is get Cooper Flagg and Knipple and stuff like that. Just absolute insane players. You look at, there was a graphic of, the Sweet 16 teams, and like Purdue, Michigan State.
That felt like a shot at John Shire.
And maybe, were they the only two that had at least 4 guys from freshman on?
That has to be right. I can't think of.
So everybody's building teams out like this. Offensively, you might not like his style. I think the biggest problem right now is the defense. Like, he's got to find guys that can shoot and play defense. That is the disconnect right now.
Yeah. The best player on Auburn's a transfer. Yeah.
Tommy says we have to get more athletic. Yeah, if we're going after Dix and Sanford, you guys are not getting a more athletic team next year.
People are saying Dix is not going to come to Illinois because they treated him to McDonald's on his visit or something. So
heck yeah,
he's going to Kansas, is what this guy's saying here.
That's fine.
Yeah. Well, hey, made a good run at him.
All you can do is try, guys. All you can do is try. Coach says it's okay, guys. Dix to the rescue. Dix got the shaft in Iowa. As long as Dix finishing around the hole, we will be better.
Okay. I don't. Brad's gonna want to leave Illinois, I think, if the fans keep doing this. Like what?
I agree.
Tyler Underwood, is his first year doing this, right? First year on staff or second year?
I think it's his
second year.
Third year on staff.
This season was his third?
Yeah, but I don't think that he was in as big a role the first year.
It's almost like you use a year as a learning experience, then you get better. It's almost like that could happen, but you never know. I don't know. I'm not just going to sit here and be like, oh my God, one player is complaining about this. If Trey White's leaving because of something in the offense, who cares?
Morez's dad also mentioned Trey White being stuck in a corner not being able to do anything.
What the hell is he gonna do?
Which I think, I mean, I don't feel like he was always stuck in a corner, but he was the best 3-point shooter at the late in the season. If the team doesn't kick out to him, who's that on? That's on the team or the player or whatever.
I find it appalling that throughout history, people always dislike the helicopter parent who is bitching about the coaching and all this shit 24/7. And Morez's dad does this, and everyone's instantly like, oh my God, Illinois has a big problem. By the way, if this is Tyler, the comment says second year running the offense. Illinois' offense was third in efficiency last season. So, and also they were 14th this season. So their offense has been top 15 the last 2 years in efficiency. So I don't know. It's kind of weird if he's running the offense and their offense is, I don't know, kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't tell me that Tyler Underwood doesn't know basketball. Like, he grew up with it his whole life.
He was on the Illini.
He played more minutes than some guys on the Illini probably. So
not AJ Red.
Nobody puts Trey in the corner. Yeah, he also said that DGL was better offensively, back to Morez, and he wasn't ever allowed to do anything. So we'll probably see him leave. So I don't know. I feel like Morez probably got an offer out there somewhere from somebody. It's weird because Piper talked to the dad 2 days before, and he said that Trilly Donovan, which I don't think Trilly Donovan's ever been wrong in his life, said that Morez was entering the portal, and Morez Sr. denied it, and then Morez ends up leaving. And I don't know. Somebody said, who's a big back to the basket guy that you want on this team? Guys, Brad's not going for that. You're going to have to live with it. I'm sorry. You're going to have to live with it.
Now, this here is like, okay, fucking post it then. Apparently, the hot boards are saying a former Illini currently in NBA has putting the word like there makes no sense there, coach. Video of Tyler's treatment towards some players. Okay, post it.
I mean, if there is stuff going on that is actually like just, obscene or whatever, if there's stuff being said that shouldn't be said, somebody should call that out by now. What I don't like, are you going to be mad if Tyler Underwood, who is in a coaching role, yells at his players? Is that where we're at? Like, are we that soft as a nation? Oh yeah, we are. My bad.
Brad's not allowed to do it, so that's another thing. Imagine if shooters made shots this year. Yeah, they were top 15 in offensive efficiency while shooting 31% from three and missing a ton of open shots.
Imagine Tommy will probably enter NBA draft and then come back.
We were all upset when Adam Miller left as well. Tyler wasn't, but I was.
I'm not like I just like, yeah, initially was I like shocked and upset that Morez went into the portal. Yes, but I have no doubt that Brad's going to build this team. If we can keep a couple key pieces and build around it. I'll go back to the Patino thing, which, by the way, he just lost the Big East Player of the Year to the NBA draft, but also to the portal. We'll see if he gets drafted or if he stays in. But he said you cannot replace these teams these days with high school kids. And I know that everybody wants to say, well, people don't leave Izzo. People don't leave Painter. No, kids didn't leave Painter because they went to the national championship last year. Their core wanted to be there. They have a point guard who's one of the best players in the NCAA. That was nothing coming out of high school. And Painter took a chance on him. Like, if that's what you want Brad to start doing, Brad's not going to be winning 20 games again. And then you're going to be calling for his head then. So
it's almost like Painter's a better X's and O's and better developer, and that's the way that Purdue operates. It's almost
Yeah.
like it's almost like Illinois is operating in the best way for them to win because they've done nothing but fucking win for the last 6 years. You morons who are calling this out. And also, by the way, Mason Gillis left. Whew, got you there. He might have been grad transfer, but either way, he left.
And Tom Izzo's Tom Izzo. If you're comparing Brad Underwood to Tom Izzo, I think Brad's on the right track then, because you're talking about literally one of the best coaches in college basketball. I don't know what you morons want.
Yeah.
KJ
leave it to us to defend the program, and they give us nothing for it. We want Brad on. Oh, can't have Brad on. I mean, we'll ask easy questions. And by the way, I would have had
them up like crazy. Let's get Tyler Underwood on here. Let me compliment his offense for him.
I will shoot an email out. I'm sure they'll respond. So I would have had more of a problem with Morez leaving if his dad wasn't just out here making comments like this. Like what that
right.
is concerning to me. I don't know why it's not concerning for other people. We all like Morez. We all appreciate that he stayed committed to Illinois for a long time.
5 years.
Came to Illinois.
Yeah.
Had a good freshman season. If he's gone, he's gone. Like, I don't know what people want. Like, would you rather have Morez as your starting undersized 5 next season over Ivasic or no? Like, I don't know what people want.
Yeah. I mean, he was good in his role. And if he wants to go be Dane Danger and go to the AAC and average 17 points a game, let him do it. I don't see Morez being a 5 where they let him do what he wants to do. And I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. Also, 1,100 players have entered the portal in the first 72 hours. That's an average of 3 per team. So this isn't an Illinois problem. Like, I know if a guy transfers, we want to blame somebody. And for some reason, it's the coaching staff and how they run their offense, which, as Ethan told you all, is one of the most efficient offenses the last 2 years. So
how many programs do you think have been top 15 in offensive efficiency for the last 2 years? I mean, it's probably what? Auburn.
It's top tier programs, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's Auburn. It's Duke. It's, let's see here. Who else can I throw in there? Kentucky, I would say, has been there the last 2 years. Arizona, probably. I don't know if Purdue was top 15 this year. Were they? Yeah, they were. Okay, they were 8th. So, yeah, like that's the ones I can come up with right now is Auburn, Duke, Kentucky, Purdue. So, Arizona. I don't really know what people want. And by the way, if you're Rick Pitino, I don't know if you really want RJ back after that performance in the Arkansas game.
It's true. I mean, it's probably had something to do with something. Philip says odds TKR or Smith leave this offseason. 0% chance. Yeah. Purdue's going to be another Sweet 16, Elite 8.
They're not gonna ever win a national championship if they don't get more, at least an athlete perimeter pro next to Lawyer and Smith.
Yeah, but what Painter did with that team this year, I think, was pretty impressive. I mean, they did get to play 2 high seeds, but that's the benefit of playing a good regular season. But they have no reason to leave.
Do you think what Izzo's done with Michigan State this season has been impressive?
Yeah.
They're 25-4 since November 27th.
What was Michigan State in the AP poll, first AP poll of the year?
I don't know, but I can tell you this: they were 35th on KenPom in the preseason.
Okay.
So they're 7th now. Yeah, they lost to Memphis, and then they're 25-4 since that.
Jay Wright and destroying lesser opponents will distort any metric system. Cool, Finkel.
They beat Oregon.
I didn't know Finkel was such a Brad hater. What is going on?
Beat Oregon by 32. That'll help the metrics.
Yeah, tell Oregon not to suck. How's that?
Scored 93 at Michigan, by the way. 3 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago, I guess. Or no, 3 weeks ago.
Check it out. Says both Morez and Trey wanted bigger roles in
4
the
weeks ago,
offense.
28 days.
The common theme is that Brad and the staff didn't make them promises they couldn't keep. His dad is saying what he has to feel better about back channeling to the rumored $1.8 million bag someone offered.
All I know is that if I were a college basketball player, which I totally could have been, not true. If my father was speaking like this, I would be pissed. So that's all I know. What was that Willard comment earlier? There's a Willard Villanova comment.
There was some Maryland stuff. Fan base turning into Maryland. Villanova made a mistake going with Willard.
I disagree with that because I think at the very least Willard is going to get them back in the tournament and get them going a little bit. Like he had a run at Seton Hall. They made the tournament a few times. This year was really the first year where he had some real tournament success. I believe his first Sweet 16, albeit, the route to get there was not, crazy. I mean, Colorado State was good. They barely beat them. They beat a 13 and a 12 to get there, but
what's going on here?
It is crazy how the whole Willard thing happened, I will say, with Maryland.
It was very weird.
But like, if you're Villanova, who else are you going to go with? Other than convincing Jay Wright to come back, what else are you going to do? I think that's like your best option at that point.
Yeah.
And I saw Chris Collins was listed as a potential candidate for Maryland. That's not happening. He's got an extension at Northwestern, I believe, right? That he probably signed, unlike Willard at Maryland. So that's why I said Dwayne Simpkins, got to be the guy. Got to be the guy at Maryland. Went to the tournament at American this year. He's kind of found some consistency there in 2 years. Played at Maryland. That's got to be the guy for Maryland. So the Big Ten, when Maryland hires a new coach, there'll be 4 new coaches next season in the Big Ten.
Yeah. MSU was unranked. Thanks, Bigzilla. It doesn't matter. Brett Underwood doesn't have a clue as to how to use bigs. His genius drop coverage was a disaster this year. I will say that the drop coverage against Kentucky was absolutely brutal, and that's why I said this team's focus should be on the defensive end. Like that's where I think Brad struggles personally. They talked about Trey. Don't put him in the corner. I agree. Tim Anderson leaving probably played a role. Yeah, will it play a role in Ty Rogers leaving? Also, are you surprised if Ty was leaving? He hasn't left yet. Do you think that Trey White and Morez Johnson helps Ty Rogers stay?
No idea, but I don't care if Ty stays or leaves. So,
what if he can shoot it 40% next year from 3?
That's not happening, and he's got to prove it. And that's why I say if he leaves, he leaves.
They want you to ban Corn Pop?
I would like to address his Yakachonis comment.
Why is this what our fan base does, though? Like, Brick House, you do it, so I guess.
Well, that's just funny. And he's like 25 years old. He can handle it. Jock Strap Junis is nowhere near NBA ready. Anyone who watched him knows this. Anyone who watched him lead the team in scoring and lead the team in assists. All that shit, you fucking moron.
As an 18-year-old that came overseas.
God, It's so stupid. It's not even about being NBA ready. It's about, hey, somebody's going to draft him in the top 10 and they're going to be like, okay, he's going to play his rookie season. We'll see how that goes, but we really think that after a year or two, he could be really, really good. And like an NBA team like the Brooklyn Nets or the Charlotte Hornets or the Washington Wizards or, teams like that aren't expecting to, hey, we're going to have a top 10 pick that we're going to make the playoffs next year. Those teams are all going to – what is the upside for KJ to play another year in college? There is none.
None. No.
He's going to get drafted in the top 10 literally no matter what.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense that our fan base is so stupid that they can't comprehend the idea of NBA evaluators and whether KJ has to be, quote, NBA ready or not. NBA ready applies to
how many top 10 guys become all-stars, the number can't be like super high.
Like all-stars in general or all-stars right away?
I mean, like right away, probably really low.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably
Over time, sure. But how many busts are in the top 10 too?
You saying KJ's going to be a bust?
No, I'm just saying like that's the thing. They take a risk on that is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're bringing him in with the idea of developing. That's
Jason
why this Corn Pops guy's a fucking moron.
Yeah, ban him. Morez will have to improve a ton on his offensive game if he wants a sniff at the NBA. And that's why he's leaving, guys, because he wants to show that he's more than just a rebounder, a blocker, and a rebounder. That's why he's leaving. Brad didn't utilize him.
His defense needs to get better.
Like my thing is like he knew what this offense was coming into it. So why didn't he just did he stay because he was I assume Illinois paid him a lot. And I don't know if anybody else would have out of high school. So too many Chiefs. Sorry. Mitch says they have to get a new defensive coordinator. Hamer is not getting the job done. Yeah, Hamer's apparently in charge of scouting other teams. And it took Boswell to change the defense to not do drop coverage. And then they go and they play Kentucky and they just let what's his face just take 15 footers all day.
Who?
What's his name? Brea. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Couldn't think of it. Brad wants Ty back. Ty equals DeMonte. We can hope. Just saying it would be really cool if he came back to U of I.
DeMonte was the worst player of all time to shoot that high percentage from three that 1 year. Unbelievable that he shot that well from three.
Jockstrap, terrible handles, turnover machine, defensively average at best. I would say he's less than average defensively. Not a great 3-point percentage, only consistent at being inconsistent. As an 18-year-old brother.
Great. You forgot to mention his ball handling struggles. Great vision, have to say. Great vision. His mid-range jumper, I think, is pretty good. We didn't see a lot of it, but I think his mid-range jumper is pretty tight. He score around the rim. Good with the right or the left. Go either way. High level, motor and all that stuff. So I don't really understand why Corn Pop is taking time out of his day. This guy's probably like 65 years old, by the way. He's taking time out of his day to do this.
He's either that or 12. So
we're gonna put him in a little timeout though for now, just because it's a little annoying.
Where did Tim Anderson go? I don't think he's gone anywhere right now. Him
and Chester are going to Indiana with DeVries. Indiana.
Imagine,
by the way.
Imagine we get Iowa players, Indiana gets Illinois players, and we just swap everything. Yeah, so we might as well get into this stuff because we got about 10 minutes till tip off. Josh Dix visited yesterday, and Bryce Sanford is visiting today. So I think today. I could be wrong. We all know about Josh. Probably the best player, all-around player on that Iowa team the last 2 years, I would say, but I could be wrong. He only averaged eight minutes last year, so that was probably a lie by me. Sorry. This year, played 33 games. Oh, this is Bryce Sanford, so I don't even know what I'm talking about. All right, anyways, Bryce Sanford averaged 22 minutes a game, 48.8% from the field, 40% from three. He doesn't shoot good free throws, so he fits in well for the Illini. I don't know if I could root for Bryce Sanford after hating his brother for the last 8 years.
That's a weird thing to say. What's that have to do with him?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Also,
I can see a Sanford in an Illinois uniform, man.
If Peyton Sanford transferred to Illinois, I'd be all for that.
Yeah. Anyways, so there's two non-athletic Trey White replacements. You got Dame Sarr stuff on here.
Yeah, because I didn't know there was some buzz about maybe him going to Duke or something, right?
There's buzz that it's not as secure as like Illinois is not a lock as much as we thought, I think is what's going on right now. And if you guys keep calling him jockstrap Giannis, do you think he's going to want to come to the Illinois? Do you think he's going to want to come to our fan base if KJ reads half the shit you guys say about him? Like,
nobody should want to come play for this fan base. That's not what it's about at this point. I will say the video that I retweeted of Dame Sarr yesterday, he does look pretty sick when he's good.
Yeah.
So that would be.
And what's he shoot it from the line? I mean, he's Illinois-esque too.
0% in the highest level.
That's
over 4 or something.
Good stuff. Some other potential. That sounded weird. Other potential targets for Illinois right now that we know about. They did have a Zoom call with 7-footer from Santa Clara. I don't know what happened with that. Haven't heard anything else. I don't even know that guy's name anymore. I'm sure that I got it in my phone somewhere. Let me.
I think his name is Zvonimir Ivasic.
His name is Christoph Tilley, a 7-foot center. Had a Zoom call. He's from Santa Clara. He averaged 12.5 points, 4.9 rebounds. He looks like another tall white. He's got to be foreigner, right? Christoph. That's not an American name.
Yep.
Duke will go after Sarr if they don't get this prospect they're chasing. That makes sense.
Sarr should definitely go to Duke instead of Illinois.
Sarr is Duke's backup plan. All right. See, this is why we got you guys, so you can tell us what's actually going on with Illinois basketball and why we just sit here and talk about it. Seems like Connell could be IE bound. It says Connell, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
But you got to translate that to Conwell in your head from Xavier.
Sorry. 6'11" guy from Nevada.
By the way, Conwell next to Boswell, I think would be a phenomenal duo, but it's not going to happen. So
yeah, so some guards that Illinois is looking at right now. All right,
let's discuss him for a second. 6'3" freshman, Valpo, played for Roger Powell, right?
Yep.
He's from Mexico. 67 3-pointers made last season, 38%. I worry about the year, it being year 2 for him and trying to go up this high in terms of level. But he played almost 30 minutes a game, 40, 38, 80 splits, very, very good numbers. He averaged 1.4 turnovers per game, which you can live with. But then it comes down to this again, like, do you want 6'3" and 6'2" in your backcourt? Like,
right.
Do you want that together? If he was 6'5", this would be so great.
I mean, is he? He's maybe a better shooter. He's proven that he can score, but is this not like just DGL? Like,
I think this guy is.
Do you think he's better than DGL? Do you think DGL could go to Valparaiso and average 15.5 a game?
I would hope so, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But to be fair, this guy has done it. DGL hasn't, because DGL came to Illinois. But just to be fair to All Right, and it's a great name. So
it is All Right. Flory to Indiana. Flory Bidadungunga from Kansas.
Indiana getting another whatever. Never mind. I was gonna say like Indiana just
dropping a bag.
No, it's Indiana. Big. Indiana getting like guys who just I don't
know. We are looking at Thornton. I read.
I think Indiana has a serious like not getting the right guys issue. Like Indiana has no problem getting talent, but they just don't ever get the right mix. And if you are fair to Indiana, last season, the number one right guy that they got was Luke Goody. Guy who wants to win.
That wants to play in the –
Ballo is clearly not that. Miles Bryce is already back in the portal. You just got to get the right guys.
M'Baku's in the portal.
Yeah, you got to get the right guys.
But, I mean, and they're coachless, so I kind of get that. But there's no doubt in my mind that those guys would probably leave anyways. Another guard Illinois is looking at is Tyler Cochran from Minnesota. He started at where did he start at?
I got it. All right, let's discuss him. Ball State. He was Toledo, Ball State. He didn't even play at Minnesota last year.
He was injured last year.
Yeah, Toledo, Ball State, and NIU. So 3 different MAC schools in 5 seats. Like this is just
Another 6'3" guard. He's from Illinois. I don't know, but
well, he can shoot the basketball, or at least his 3 years. You look at kind of the injury issues, I guess, because he played 12 games at NIU in 21, 9 games at Toledo in 23. But he did shoot 37% at Ball State in 22, which he played 31 games. So he's capable of making threes. He doesn't shoot a lot of them. Shot 34.6% at Toledo.
I mean, he'd be old, right? He's played 6 years of college basketball already. So
This would also be his first year away from the MAC conference. If this guy comes to Illinois, he better not be hoping to play more than like 18 minutes a game.
yeah. Next guy I got for you is Bubba Boo Boo. I don't even know how to say this guy's name. Boo Boo Benjamin of Tarleton State. He's 6'7", 205 pounds. He's from Medicine Hat, AB, wherever that is. I averaged 13.9.
Alberta, Canada.
Thank you. 13.9 last year, 4.6 rebounds, 1.7 assists. Shoots at 44% from the field, 38% from 3.
Well, what this guy did is he developed a 3-point shot because his first year, 3 for 13 from 3, played 22 games, played nearly 12 minutes per game. And then this past season, 38% from 3, 49 makes on 129 attempts, 79% free throw line. I think you'll take that. 14 a game. Offensive rebounds averaging over 1 per game. He's good. I don't know. Once again, like you never know when these guys go up a level. Like who's going to be Walter Clayton Jr. and who's not going to be.
Yeah.
6'7" guard though. That is intriguing.
This guy has a Trey White build.
But he's also a guard.
Right.
Intriguing. And he's from Medicine Hat, Alberta, home of the Medicine Hat Tigers. I believe in the Western Hockey League junior team. So he's not playing hockey.
All right.
Be a good power forward in hockey.
The next one I got for you is 6-footer. So I know that'll make you happy. Malachi Smith of the Dayton Flyers.
Yeah, I just have no interest in Illinois doing this.
Okay.
Good player, no doubt. Good player. I mean, he played 30 minutes essentially in 3 years at Dayton. Like he played 27.8 this past season. He's fine. He's a good player. I mean, shoots the 3 well, 38%, career 38.8%. But he's been on several underperforming Dayton teams. So you have to wonder, like 10 points per game this past season. He's a good player. He's fine, but I think he's also been overrated by a lot of people in the Dayton program. Like, I just don't think this is a good fit for Illinois, bringing a guy who's like 6 feet tall. And
yeah, if there's anything we've learned is Brad likes length too. I mean, he wants to be long. So
yeah, I mean, the team that had kind of a small backcourt was Plummer and Frazier, and that team was good, but they also had Kofi on that team. So
right. And I got one more for you. Jalen Sellers of UCF, 6'4", 205 pounds. He averaged 6 points, shot 50% from the field last year. He looks like a stronger guard. Shooting last year was good. I don't know how many threes he took, but he shot 40%.
He took 5.
I was going to say he only played 3 games. When he did play a full season, he shot 29.7%.
But let's also be fair. When he was at Ball State, he shot 45%.
True. And he shot 44% his freshman year. So also another guy that would be in his 5th year. So
it would technically be his 5th year, but I don't know if they'll count.
Well, no. I mean, I assume that his last year wouldn't count as eligibility, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm just saying how old he is. Like he's got to be like 22, 23.
Yeah,
but
there's nothing too exciting on that list, I have to say. I mean, all right, and Boo Boo Benjamin are certainly interesting, but like Cochran, Smith, and Sellers, I have like almost no interest in. Sellers, I understand. Like you get a physical wing guy like that. maybe a
Yeah.
physical guard, I guess, technically 6'4". So let's just say there's going to probably be some more interesting stuff down the stretch here, I would think. There's a lot of time left to
Yeah.
like John Blackwell, could enter the portal. Who knows, right? That'd be great.
It's very early still. Again, I don't doubt Brad Underwood will put together a team, and I know that is the problem. Like I know that fans hate where college basketball is because it is, new teams every year. It seems like, and I know they want to blame, it's an Illinois problem. It's a college basketball problem. There's word that they might go to contracts and stuff like that. That kind of worries me too, because what if some kid's in his second year and he hates life in Champaign, Illinois, and the snow and the nastiness, and then he's stuck there for another year.
There's always a way out.
It's got to be somehow, but getting to contracts worries me. But it is what it is. I think that you can find some core guys that want to be there. I think that you have that in Boswell. Word is Boswell got a very big bag offered from somebody. So we'll see what happens. But I think that Illinois has the guys that they want to build around, which is Boswell and it's Tommy, and they'll fill in the blanks as it goes. But I think that's a good base. I know losing Morez sucks. Illinois fans.
You didn't mention Nick Davidson.
I also, by the way, Kerry Booth is gone too. To cry about that. Nick Davidson, I did not see his name pop up in anything. So
that's because the first article I see is Ked's recruiting roundup. Illinois takes aim at Nevada's Nick Davidson. It seems like Nick Davidson is probably going to go.
The Nevada guy I was talking about. All right, sorry.
He's probably going to go to Purdue or USC or North Carolina. It looks like, but I will say Virginia. I think he's visiting. I will say Nick Davidson and Ivisic together would be pretty unbelievable. Like both guys, like that. You're having a stretch 4 and a stretch 5. Nick Davidson shot, I think, 38% from 3 last year. He's 6'10", averaged almost 16 a game at Nevada. Like that would be lethal with him and Ivisic, but probably not going to happen unless it does. You never know, I guess.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe Tommy talks his brother into coming to beautiful Illinois.
Was he going to hang out in Arkansas? I mean, that's a shithole.
NIL could be the death of college sports. I don't know. I feel like people are going to hate it, whatever. But I think I don't think it changes who's on whose team, I guess. But it doesn't change the product to me. So that's my stance. I know it's not the.
It changes the way you need to build your team.
Yeah, I know it's not. But my thing is, y'all are going to hate college basketball until Illinois makes another run. And then you guys are all going to be fans again, just like you Cardinal fans, just like you Cub fans. That's who you guys are.
White Sox fans.
Just like you White Sox fans. So.
I will say this also. I think Illinois has a better chance of actually winning a championship in this version of college basketball. So
I agree. It's
probably never going to happen, if we're being honest, but I think they have a better chance.
I agree. Mitch says Antigua will get Illinois some great big men. Just saying.
I hope he likes Nick Davidson. I'd love for them to take a run at him, just like Ked says. Ked's always right.
This guy doesn't look like a ball player, so.
But he averaged 16 a game and shoots 38% from 3, and he's 6'10", and he's old.
Don't care.
Does Humbrickhouse look like a ball player?
Yes.
Okay. Also,
viewer of the NCAA tournament, double digits versus 2024. People are still interested.
And you still have people being like, "Oh, we don't have a Cinderella." Oh. Trust me, if we get Duke, Houston, and Florida, Auburn in the Final Four, people are gonna watch.
Yeah, if we get that, I'm sorry, guys, I'm winning the IBP shirt. So,
and if we get Florida Duke national championship, whoo, jeez. What a ball game that could be. Although I think Duke is almost untouchable at this point.
Yeah, we'll see.
Duke is plus 115 to win the national championship, which I bet.
Did you bet him?
Yeah. Yeah. I also have UConn in the women's. I think they're because of the USC injury, I think UConn's like a 13.5-point favorite against USC tomorrow night in the Elite Eight in the women's. So we'll see.
All right. Off-season plans or something.
AKA, we'll just be back when stuff happens, I guess. And maybe when there's a dead point in the summer, maybe I'll come up with something for us to do a live on or something.
Yeah. I think right now it's just going to be based on when things drop, what happens, how the portal's looking. Always follow us on Twitter over there at Podcast Illini. You can follow us here, subscribe, hit the little notification bell so you know when we're going live. It'll pop up on your iPhone or something. So
we also did weekly lives last summer for a little bit. Maybe do that again. We'll see. But that would probably be later in the summer.
Wednesday night hangouts.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. Thanks for supporting us all year also. And we'll see you soon, I'm sure.
No, Jeffrey, it's not a bad look. Great take. All right, we'll see everybody next time. Underwood.
Thin ice!